Hey, what is up guys? It's been a while and we're back again for another video. This time we'll have a look at the Aeon Gaming AC61M GK61. Now this has been sent over to me for review, but as always, note that this will not be affecting my review in any way. Alright, let's get started. Okay, let's unbox this first and check out what's inside. So here's the manual, a keycap puller, switch puller, 1.5 meter braided USB cable, and the keyboard itself. So it's a standard 60% keyboard with Gateron Optical switches, PBT keycaps, and a rigid build made entirely of aluminum. This keyboard will not flex. Now, for a 60%er, it's pretty heavy considering that the keyboard doesn't have any battery in it. And well, you guessed it, it's not wireless, unfortunately. Not a big deal really, and I think it's a good decision considering how fast optical switches are. You will want to take advantage of that by using a wired connection. The keyboard measures 29.8 centimeters long, 10.2 centimeters wide, and 3 centimeters tall. It doesn't have any flip-out stands for height adjustment, but it's angled just fine, and I didn't feel any fatigue or strain over the course of me using this keyboard. At the bottom, it has 4 long rubber paddings which helps keep the keyboard in place, and due to its 816 grams weight, I can guarantee that the keyboard will be securely planted on any desk. At the back, we'll find 2 USB-C ports placed at the sides, so you have an option to use either one of them, depending on your setup. Pretty unique, and it's my first time seeing a keyboard with this implementation. The keyboard gives an AN Pro 2 vibe due to its similar design. It has chamfered edges and the matte coating is excellent. It has a silver accent lining the edges of the keyboard, which adds a nice touch to the overall aesthetics. Although the keycaps look pretty plain. It would have been nice if they have colorway options like maroon and black, just like the TMKB GK61 that we have reviewed in this channel. Now my understanding is that this is supposed to be an upgraded GK61. Well, I think it is. It has a better design and build, but it's kinda weird that they omit the wireless feature. You know, some folks would want that. Hopefully they come up with a wireless version soon. Now just like the original GK61, it's also using Gateron Optical switches, which are known for their superb endurance, quality, and response time. Optical switches are the fastest switches out there and they're pretty resistant to wear and tear. They have a lifespan of 100 million keystrokes, which is twice the value of a traditional mechanical switch. The ones that came with this keyboard are Gateron yellow switches and they're buttery smooth. They're one of the best linear switches I tried so far. The stabilizers used in this keyboard are surprisingly good. There's hardly any rattle and they're lubed just right. The double shot PBT keycaps are quite alright. It's using the OEM profile, which is what you'll find on almost every pre-built keyboard. I'd say they have a decent enough sound profile, and for a typical user, this'll do just fine. Although I would likely replace them with a better one cause they look too plain to my liking. Now, before I dismantle this keyboard, let's have a quick sound test. Okay, as you can see here, the keyboard's case is made entirely of metal. They say it's aluminum, but it feels more like cast iron. You know the metal they use on those non-stick frying pans? Now, it's particularly tough and heavy, and I like the machining they did here. It's super well built, and the matte finish looks great. And I'm also surprised that they didn't put any foam at the base though, because the keyboard sounds great already. I thought it had one in there. But, well, perhaps some foam would make it sound way better. The plate is made of aluminum as well, which makes the keyboard very rigid. It's white, which also helps in reflecting the RGB lighting. Removing the plate, we'll see that there's some padding on the part where the spacebar sits, which does help with the spacebar sound. Now compared to the old GK61, the AC61M's switch mounting has the right amount of tension to hold the switches in place. The old GK61 has a super tight switch mounting. It's so tight that you might end up damaging the switches if you're not too careful in removing them. Overall, the build is really great. With just a few mods, I think this keyboard would sound and feel much better. Moving on to the performance. I'd say this keyboard does live up to my expectations. It's super responsive thanks to the Gateron Optical switches. They're really good for gaming as they activate really fast. I really like the Gateron yellows that came with this one. They're super smooth and they're light to press. These are way better than the Cherry MX Reds I tried on the ROG Falcon. Now much like every 60% keyboard, you don't get dedicated arrow keys and a lot of keys have been removed to achieve this compact form. Missing keys are allocated to a second layer and are triggered by pressing the FN key along with the corresponding key. It takes time to get used to it, and some people may find this frustrating. If you will ever change to custom keycaps, you'll likely need the manual as a reference since replacement keycaps won't have legends for these secondary functions. The keyboard does have a software and I managed to download it after going to their website. Now the software is not super intuitive and it takes time to get used to it. But well, it's functional. It's just not user-friendly. Anyway, let me just show you the different RGB presets available with this keyboard. To conclude, The AC61M GK61 is a decent upgrade from the old GK61 that we all know. It has a superb build and sounds better. However, it's not perfect. Just like the former, it's only compatible with Gateron Optical switches. It would have been nice to have an option that used universal 5-pin Hotswap sockets. A wireless option is really appreciated, and a much better software would make this a really solid product. But for what it is, I think its $69.99 price tag is justified enough. However, I wouldn't mind paying more if they'd be able to implement those suggestions I mentioned. That's it for this video. Big thanks to Aeon Gaming for sending this in. Like, dislike, comment down if you have questions or anything to say. Get subscribed so you don't miss out on my next uploads, and as always, thanks for watching and see you guys soon.